work ethic. So you want to teach your kids to be able to bend and not to be, pretty much not to be self-willed in order to make it. It looks like this is going to be cut off. Part one, if it is, I'll do a part two. If it doesn't cut off, I'm trying to look at the time, then I'll keep on going. But you want to teach your kids not to be particular in life, not to be like, oh, I don't want to take the garbage out, or I don't want to touch that, or I don't want to do that. So what we're dealing with is when I had my first interview, I had an awesome interview with this lady, and she was like, I'm still cold in here. Like, my nose gets red. I got the oven on when I get cold. So anyways, I talked to this awesome lady and we interviewed, and she's like, oh yeah, I talked about this in another video. She's like, oh yeah, Chili's, they make their own guacamole every morning. They make their own salsa. Oh, you worked over here? Oh, this place gave people E. coli. Oh, you worked over here? Oh, you worked over here? So this woman was able to sit down and take like 3 pages of my work and go, bada boom boom, like, oh, I'm familiar with that one. And yes, this has this and this has that. And she was very knowledgeable. Just a gem. Just a gem when it comes to knowing her stuff, right? So I was really impressed with her, and we had a great conversation. I mean, she really had an outside view of the business world that you don't see often. And, a lot of these new people are like Gen Zs. They don't want to work. And like she was saying, people work 3 months, they get some money, they're like, we're going off to Switzerland now. So people nowadays in the workforce, they actually will tell their boss, I'm someone who doesn't want to really work hard. And we were talking about this, and I'm like, what? I'm like, I would never tell a boss I don't like to work hard. And, you have us old schoolers who know better. We're like, no, you don't tell your boss that, right? But nowadays, we have people who are just like, yeah, I don't really like to work hard, and that's just how I am. And, you're not going to really get work in that way. So what you want to do, I mean, Paul says this in the Bible, that he beats himself, right? He disciplines himself. He beats himself so that he can be the best of the best. So what you want to do in the business world, pretty much anywhere in life, your personal life is a big part of this too, is your mindset. You want to get 1% better each time. And when I had used that phase with one of the jobs, she's like, we're not okay with okay here. Just so you know, we are not okay with okay. So, there's restaurants that are okay, and there's restaurants that are like, you got to be the best of the best. And so I had said, well, I do a lot of stuff in my personal life to improve myself. 1%. And she's like, that's exactly how we think. It's 1% better every single time. So there's no room for self is what I'm trying to say. There's no room to be like, well, I just feel like being lazy. I don't really want to do this. And I think looking at the way jobs are going nowadays, I mean, with so much being cut, you're going to want to improve yourself even more. I mean, if you want to make it, you got to be able to, you got to be adaptable, you got to be flexible. So in this interview, I had a kind of an off question. If you work at the Broadmoor, you get your foot in the door there. I mean, you pretty much can work at any restaurant. So I was asked about what my experience was with that place. And then the question that was a little bit off, she says, tell me the last time you did something special for someone, or you did something that made someone feel special. It looks like I'm running out of time again. And I'm like, I'm thinking about it, and I'm kind of caught